We're here at the launch of Cupra as the official partner for Football Australia, the Matildas and the Socceroos. We've got this Formentor behind me. We're going to have a quick rundown of what it is, what it costs, and what variants are going to be available when this car goes on sale in July 2022. It's also a short sneak preview before Tom gets to drive this car in full detail, which you'll see towards the end of this month. And I'd love to hear your comments on what you think of the Formentor, this sort of mid-size coupe SUV that has a distinct performance focus down below. And if you haven't done so, we'd also love it if you could subscribe to Chasing Cars. So, the Formentor behind me is the star of the Cupra show. It's the first car that the brand has developed wholly by itself with no ties back to Seat, apart from its MQB Evo underpinnings. But the Cupra brand is launching in Australia with a total of 3 models initially, with a 4th performance electric hatchback called the Born to come along shortly. The most affordable is the Leon. It's a Golf-sized small car, and that's available in 4 variants, all with a bit of a performance flavour, but the range topper with 221 kilowatts and 400 newton meters sending power to the front wheels is going to be seriously fun. Then you step up to the Ateca, which is a small SUV only offered in a single variant, and then we have the Formentor here. Just like the Leon, it's available with 4 different options, starting from $54,990 drive away for a 140 kilowatt, 320 newton meter all-wheel drive tune. Then you can bump that up to 180 kilowatt, 300 newton meter tune of the same engine, though that goes back to front wheel drive for $58,490 drive away. Then the really exciting stuff, the VZE. It's a plug-in hybrid model, and the vehicle pictured here is finished in a gorgeous dark camouflage color. It's almost black, but it just has a hint of green, and I think it looks fantastic. Its list price is $69,990. Now, Cupra don't quote a drive-away price for the whole of Australia because it does vary state by state, but here in New South Wales, it's $65,990 drive away for a 180 kilowatt, 400 newton meter, 1.4 litre 110 TSI engine combined with an electric motor and a battery that gives you about 55 k's of electric range according to WLTP testing. Finally, we've got the VZX, which is the one behind me right now, $66,490. This is the model that Cupra anticipates is going to sell the most strongly in Australia. It's got 228 kilowatts of power, 400 newton meters, connected to a Holdex type all-wheel drive system. And there are a couple of options you can add to this to make it even more performance oriented, including Brembo brakes for $4,150 and of course colors. This petrol matte blue pictured behind me is fantastic. You can also get a matte dark grey, but without further ado, let's actually check out the car side of this thing by hopping inside the Formentor VZX. So jumping inside the cabin of this flagship Formentor VZX, which costs $66,490, or it will cost $66,490 drive away when it launches here in Australia in the middle of the year. And you can see this gorgeous cabin. It really distinguishes itself from other vehicles from the Volkswagen group. You've got this lovely navy blue leather to complement this car's exterior color, which is petrol blue matte, if you were wondering, about a $2,300 option, which I think lots of people are going to go for because it really makes this thing stand out. Other things in here to mention, we've got a technology package that is quite new to me, not being au fait with Seats or Cupra products before. A 12-inch central touchscreen. You do have a lot of the controls that you've seen before in the Mark 8 Golf and the Octavia and the newer Volkswagen Group MQB-based vehicles in here, digital driver's display as well, but it's all done with quite a distinct flavour. I mean, just take a look at the steering wheel. It's appointed in grey leather with these beautiful copper accents. You've got an engine start-stop button right on there like you would have found on a Ferrari, and this button here activates the Cupra mode, which I guess you'd say is a little bit like a Hyundai N product's N mode, and I believe it's customizable. This car obviously gets adaptive dampers as well, being a range-topping model, and then you've got these gorgeous tombstone seats with plenty of adjustment and heating as well. So yeah, it's all shaping up to be pretty awesome. And here's a brief preview of the back seat of the Cupra Formentor. It's actually hugely spacious. Behind my driving position, I've actually got bags of room, heaps of tow room, and even plenty of headroom under this optional panoramic sunroof. So that's a real brief rundown of the Cupra Formentor in range-topping VZX, guys. It's going to be priced from $66,490 here in Australia, but the range itself starts from about 55 grand. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this interesting mid-size coupe-looking crossover that has a distinct performance flavour to it in the comments section down below. Would you consider this over something like a Tiguan or a more traditional competitor? I'd love to hear it. While you're down there leaving a comment, I'd also love it if you could hit subscribe, and you're going to love it if you like Cupra, because Tom's going to have a full detailed drive impressions of this car in the coming weeks. In fact, at the end of this month, he's going to have a full rundown on our YouTube channel. So hit subscribe if you want to see that. And as always, thank you for watching Chasing Cars.